Sound check. One. Sound check. One. Welcome classic rock fans to another episode of Classic Gig Review. Today I want to talk about a gig I attended on the 27th of September 1989. And the band of course is Jethro Tull, and they were promoting their newly released album Rock Island. As I've said, this was a tour to promote their newly released Rock Island album. Now the Rock Island album of course slips a little bit from the quality of Crest of Knave in my opinion. It keeps very much the same vibe and atmosphere of Crest of Knave in terms of its sound, overall sound, use of guitars, and but I don't think the quality of the songs is quite there. It has got some quality tunage on it, but it's also got songs like Kissing Willie, which are very mediocre as far as I'm concerned. But obviously Crest of Knave, I think it feels a little bit forced. Perhaps they were trying to rush to get an album out after their Metallica baiting Crest of Knave album. Anyway, they played about 3 nights at the Hammersmith Odeon, and we saw them on 2 of those nights. The first night we saw them was the 27th of September. We were sat upstairs in the balcony area. Me, my brother, and a friend of us, we went, and they Tull were just excellent. They did performed a great set, and Tull were really worth seeing in those days. Anderson's voice had taken a down tune a little bit after about 85, 86, but nevertheless he still sang well. They'd perhaps a lot of the newer material was obviously recorded to accommodate his voice as it was then, and he was still a presence to behold on the stage, dancing around and twirling around like a madman. He was fantastic. And in terms of the set list, I took some notes. I mean, obviously they did the usual Tull fare, the Aqualung, Locomotive Breath, stuff like that. But from what I remember, they did Strange Avenues, which is a standout track on the Rock Island album. And I remember when he gets to the line, looking like an album cover from 1971, a massive image of Aqualung was flashed up behind him, which got a big cheer, of course. Kissing Willie was in the set, which is a song I don't like. Whalers Use is a great one from this album. That was played live. I don't think it's been played ever since that tour, incidentally. Then they did a little acoustic set. They did Mother Goose, Cheap Day Return, Requiem, I think might have been an instrumental, or was it? I can't remember. Jacqueline, which had just been released on the 20th anniversary box set. And of course, Nothing Is Easy. In terms of the merchandise, of course, Tull never really disappointed back in the day. You had the obligatory Rock Island T-shirt, which we all bought. The program, which I will show you in a minute, and they also released these huge posters, massive, half the size of a wall. They're enormous, with all the tour dates and everything on them. I did buy one, and it might well be up in my attic if my wife hasn't had one of her clear outs, so to speak. So it might still be up there gathering dust. But so we bought all that stuff. It was a great night. And the programme, of course, as I've said before, the Jethro Tull programmes back in the day were always worth purchasing. And that's of course the Rock Island tour programme. Of course, then there's the lineup for that tour. Martin Alcock, rest in peace, of course, had moved over from Fairport Convention and was tinkling the ivories for Jethro Tull. So it was almost half Tull, half Fairport at this juncture. There's quite a famous picture from them around about this time. I mean, just the work that went into these programmes, the text and the attention to detail. I imagine all overseen by Ian Anderson. It was just a great, it was always worth a purchase. Mr. Pegg, of course. Rock Island, things like this, the Rock Island Treasure Trail. I mean, it's just the inventiveness and creativity that was put into it. It's just wonderful. Mr. Dome Perry was a great drummer. And Mr. Martin Alcock, of course. I heard he passed away a couple of years ago now. And of course the obligatory Tull catalogue. Some stage pictures, which you can't make out. And the back cover. It was a lovely programme, lovely memory of the event. And of course it wouldn't be quite right if I didn't take the opportunity to show my ticket. As I said before, we went on 2 nights actually. The first night we were sat up in the balcony. I think the second night my friend and I went, and we had front row tickets. We were right down, leaning over the stage. It was absolutely incredible. This ticket is for the first event up in the balcony by the looks of it, but I'll just show you that. So there's my ticket for the event. Anyway, it was an absolutely fabulous memory, and I'm glad to share it with you at a time when we're all sort of shut down and shut in. Anyway, it just leaves me to say, you know, if you enjoy my musings on music, do click like and subscribe and click that bell so you get notified of any future uploads. Do check out my Patreon for extra content and for ways of supporting this channel. But more importantly, stay tuned in, of course, stay safe, and do keep listening.